Alright ladies, when a man says you're different, most videos are going to tell you that it's about your beauty or the way that you dress or being more feminine, and that is not wrong, but it's incomplete. Because when he feels that you're different, he's not only focusing on your looks, he's also talking about the way that you carry yourself from moment to moment. So the real question becomes this: what is it about the way that you move, respond, and hold yourself that makes a man feel something different? What makes them slow down, lean in, and think that there's something about this woman that keeps pulling my attention back? If you're new to the channel, my name is Ismael Gomez and I coach women like you to understand relationship dynamics and male behavior at a deeper level. And also, in case you haven't noticed, my voice is really rough on this video because I've been sick for a couple of weeks, but I still wanted to show up for you today, ladies, and not to give you tactics to perform or personas to copy. I want to walk you through the subtle ways that a woman carries herself that make men say that she's different through self-regulation, clarity, and presence. Okay, so let's begin. Number 1, you're secure in what you want. Wanting a relationship or wanting love is not a sign of insecurity or weakness, ladies. A secure woman can want partnership deeply and still be anchored within herself. You don't need to hide your desire for love, but you also don't need to let it run your nervous system, and that is the difference. Many of you ladies are being taught to downplay this want, to act like you don't care so you don't seem needy, but wanting partnership is not a flaw, all right? It is human, okay? We are wired for connection, for belonging, for sharing something meaningful with another person. When you're secure in the type of love that you want, your energy feels grounded, okay? Not grasping. You're not over-explaining or apologizing for what you want, and you're not suppressing it either. And men feel that difference immediately. There is a quiet confidence in a woman who knows what she wants and doesn't shame herself for it. She is not asking to be chosen out of fear. She is open to connection because it genuinely fits her life. That kind of honesty attracts men who are emotionally available and aligned, and it naturally repels those who aren't. I mean, let me tell you, from the male perspective, I get so many men who tell me things like, I don't want a woman, they only bring headaches, they only want you for what you provide. And that's fine, that's their choice. But what's interesting is how quickly that turns into shaming. Suddenly, some of them look at me as if having a partner makes me weaker, less focused, less driven, like a relationship somehow is just a distraction. And here's the thing, people will always try to get in your head about what's important to you, okay? And the moment that you are in a healthy, grounded, beautiful relationship, a lot of people will envy it. And some people will subconsciously try to undermine it. So stay very clear about what you want. Learn how to attract it without losing yourself, and protect it from anyone who doesn't respect the kind of life that you're trying to build for yourself. Number 2, you don't rush emotional intimacy. When people talk about rushing intimacy, they usually think about the physical side, but there's another kind that is just as important and is far more common in women, and that is rushing emotional intimacy. This happens when connection is fast-forwarded before trust, consistency, and shared experience have had time to form. Deep conversations too early, oversharing personal wounds, and trying to create closeness through intensity instead of time. Many of you don't even realize when you're doing this, and it comes from a good place, wanting to feel safe, known, and connected, but emotional intimacy is not built by acceleration, it is built by accumulation. Hear that again. Emotional intimacy is not built by acceleration, it is built by accumulation. Never use intimacy as a mechanism to force depth. Every day I get on so many calls, and I get some of you explaining to me, oh, you have this special connection with this man, and then I realize that you've only known him for 2 weeks, okay? Or you're doing long distance, and haven't even met him in person, or you live in the same city, but you see each other twice a month. And then you're using texting or voice messages as a way to build depth with this man. And it's like you're trying to build this house with a bunch of bricks, but you have no cement that keeps it all together. Emotional intimacy feels meaningful when it's earned through shared reality, okay? Not created through emotional intensity. Real intimacy doesn't rush to feel close, it waits to become solid. Number 3, you know how to self-regulate. One of the quiet ways that you can stand out is how you handle rejection and disappointment. When something doesn't meet your standards, you don't collapse emotionally. Now, self-regulation doesn't mean suppressing emotion or pretending that you don't care. It means that you know how to process your feelings without outsourcing them to someone else, especially early on. Again, many women don't realize how often they use emotional dumping as a way to seek clarity. Like when something feels off for you, okay, instead of sitting with that discomfort, what you usually do is you bring it directly to that man, hoping that he's going to resolve it for you. You vent, analyze, explain your feelings in detail to him, and you start asking questions that you haven't fully answered within yourself yet. And again, I know that the intention behind it is reassurance, but the problem is that when a man becomes the regulator of your emotional state, the dynamic is going to shift. He doesn't feel closer, he actually feels responsible. But self-regulated women do something different. When disappointment shows up or frustration, they pause, they check in with themselves first, and they ask, what am I actually feeling? What do I need right now? Is this about him? Or is it about me needing clarity internally? Only after having that internal monologue, they decide whether something needs to be communicated or not. And when they do speak, it is simple and clean. No emotional dumping or flooding, okay? No pressure to fix or reassure, just grounded truth. This is what separates connection from emotional dependency. A woman who self-regulates doesn't use vulnerability to force closeness. She allows closeness to grow because she's not asking someone else to manage her emotions. And that doesn't make you cold, it makes you secure. And that security is deeply attractive. And final, number 4, you choose truth over outcome. Have you realized how often your communication becomes purely strategic? Not manipulative, but protective. You choose words very carefully to keep a connection intact or to guard yourself. But when communication is driven by outcome, it carries tension, okay? Even if the words sound reasonable, the energy underneath it is going to be asking for something, reassurance, clarity, commitment, and men can feel that immediately. One of the qualities that I love the most about my partner is that how brutally honest she is, okay? If she feels a certain way about something, she's going to sit me down and we're going to have a chat about it. She always tells me what is real for her, not what's going to guarantee closeness between the both of us. She expresses her needs without attaching them to a reaction from me. And that doesn't mean that she's blunt or careless. It means that she's internally aligned before she speaks. So paradoxically, when you stop speaking to control the outcome, connection is going to flow more effortlessly because now closeness becomes a choice, not a performance. All right, ladies, that is all for today. And again, I want to apologize about my voice. I know that it's a little rough, but I hope that you were able to understand everything that I was saying. Also, I want to read a comment that one of you left, and I think it was Hassan. She wrote that a man deciding my value, that is extremely funny. Again, and this is where many women get confused. Worth and value are not the same thing, okay? Your worth is intrinsic. It doesn't change. But your value in a romantic relationship is about how the other person experiences being with you. So you can believe that silver is worth more than gold, but if the market does not agree, the outcome doesn't change. So when I talk about value with men, I'm not questioning your worth as a human being or as a woman. I'm pointing out that certain behaviors create more value for some men than others. And understanding that difference does not diminish you. It helps you connect more intentionally. Anyways, thank you for subscribing to my channel, and remember that for your relationships to change, you need to change, okay? Have a beautiful day.